Let's start. Our first petitioner tonight is Stanley Praskorts, and he's going to talk about evaluation. And may I remind all the petitioners to speak into the mic, because this meeting is being recorded.
Thank you for allowing me to speak.
1 second, Mr. President. Each petitioner will have 3 minutes to speak.
The Town Board of Seneca Falls needs to be mindful of the fact that property reevaluation consists of 2 integral parts. First, there is the setting of the new property values done by the town assessor. Secondly, there is the act of adjusting the tax rate to fit the amount of money the town needs to operate. The amount of money the town needs to operate relates directly to its expenses, which have been on the increase to the tune of $500,000 a year for the last 3 years. So there needs to be a delicate balancing act relative to the amount of money coming into town coffers and how much money the town spends. In reevaluations, it is very rare that property values move downward despite the several adverse factors that affect communities. One huge adverse factor taking place in Seneca Falls is the removal of property from the tax rolls for a variety of reasons. If there is any growth taking place in Seneca Falls, it is the growth of properties disappearing from the tax rolls. The net result of property off of the tax rolls is that those of us who are left as tax-paying citizens get to bear the brunt of increased costs to operate the town. The only hope that the tax-paying citizens have is that the town board will trim the expense line and keep taxes and fees down. It would be very unwise, for sure, if the town board does not adjust the tax rate to fit its expenses. It would be very unwise if the town board hoped that great town of Seneca Falls, my home for 50 years, does not succumb to the phenomenon of abandonment where citizens leave Seneca Falls or choose not to reside here because it becomes too expensive. Town expenses cannot continue to increase $500,000 every year, or outside borrowing from banks, government, or whoever else will certainly follow, and outside borrowing will spell doom for the financial health of Seneca Falls. Expenses in this town need to be stabilized, somewhere between $12 and $13 million, and the town board needs to exercise leadership to accomplish this task. I do not believe any financial harm will come to Seneca Falls if the town board will exercise its fiduciary responsibility to at least moderately cut expenses and lower the tax rate after reevaluation is completed. It is axiomatic that no entity, public or private, can spend its way to prosperity. Members of the town board, we really need your leadership to ensure the financial well-being of the great town of Seneca Falls.
Next petitioner is Mr. Brad Jones.
Good evening. Honorable Seneca Falls Town Supervisor Greg Lazaro, Honorable Town Council members, my name is Brad Jones. I'm a resident and taxpayer of the town of Seneca Falls. Tonight's subject, Seneca Meadows, too big to fail? The answer is an emphatic no, if the following 3 actions occur. Number 1, if our code enforcement officer does indeed perform his duties. To date, Dean Zettelmeyer has not responded to the questions I presented to him at the February 2nd board meeting, nor has he addressed the reasons I shared with him via 2 emails within the last month as the issues relate to the proposed rail siding spur. Dean, do you have answers for me or the public this evening?
Not that you refer you to legal.
Number 2, if our town board states tonight or in the near future that they, as our elected officials, will go on public record that the Seneca Meadows Landfill will be officially closed in the year 2023. No further expansion, no more garbage, the game is over. With this request, there needs to be both a short-term and a long-term plan underneath the umbrella of the town board. Short-term, initially reject the rail siding permit immediately for not meeting specifications. Number 2, advise all parties of the decision on the closure in 2023, that being our state legislators, Seneca Meadows and its corporate owners, the DEC, and most importantly, the Seneca Falls and Waterloo communities. Long term, and please listen to this proposal. Begin working on a plan today whereby the closure will not affect the taxpayer. To this point, I and others in the audience are currently working on a county-town financial plan that will make both Seneca Falls and Waterloo towns financially whole. This report will be submitted to community residents, taxpayers, and the town board members no later than 60 days. Number 3, if our state senator Michael Mazzolio and our state assemblyman Brian Cole begin to work on the behalf of the residents and taxpayers, in their most recent press release pertaining to the issues at hand, they truly fumbled the football. Any one of us could have written a press release on the current state. What we're talking about is the future state, 2023. What we're fighting... You're
at 3 minutes.
Thank you. If we wish not to sit at the table, if they wish not to sit at the table, DEC will do it for them. Real quick. To make this message more pointed, there will be a walk along the tracks taking place Saturday, March 12th, beginning at 10 a.m. Critics may call this walk a picket, or maybe a protest, but I would refer to it as being a community uprising.
I call it
much more to follow, and I'm looking for volunteers. If you're interested, please raise your hand.
Yay! Woo!
Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Joanne Elliott. She's going to speak on SMI and trash trays.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak. My name is Joanne Elliott, and I live at 42 Cayuga Street. First, I would like to express my gratitude to Supervisor Lazaro for his genuine desire to do the best to represent his constituents. He does not shy away from discussing controversial dump and trash train issues. Also to thank him for his willingness to take on a monumental task that should have been addressed by this town many years ago. Seneca Meadows is an ever-growing megadump, the largest in the Northeast, whose trash for cash business is in direct opposition to the direction the region is going in terms of economic development via tourism. Having been in the hospitality business for over 20 years in Seneca Falls, I know for a fact that tourists are not attracted to dumps, nor do they find them charming. I can tell you with 100% certainty that they do not appreciate breathing in and being saturated in wretched stink while trying to enjoy a glass of first-class, award-winning Finger Lakes wine or immersing themselves in our rich women's history among the many other fantastic offerings of Seneca Falls and the greater Finger Lakes region. We are long past the point where the pervasive foul odor from the dump can be ignored. The ever-reaching stench is irrefutable fact, and everybody denying it is simply defying logic. It's well past the time for our town, county, and state officials, as well as surrounding communities, to put all their efforts into halting the assault on the beautiful Finger Lakes. Our quality of life, our health, and the degradation of our properties, our community's continued existence are at stake. For those that are reluctant to speak out because you have a business relationship, a personal relationship, feel that your organization cannot continue without the dump's donations and or charitable contributions, afraid of your taxes skyrocketing, or you've been subjected to questionable tactics to maintain your silence, just how much more disgusting must it get? Or how much damage has to be done before you get fed up, step up, and say enough is enough? Regardless of what Seneca Meadows threatens you, as a board, you have the power and the responsibility to protect the people and other businesses from the monster in our midst. I'm not going to suggest that our town attorney is not trying to provide what he understands is proper legal advice and guidance to this board, but is evident by the out-of-control current state of affairs with the dump odor, the expansion plans, the impending trash trains, that his legal counsel has not served you well. In turn, by abiding by his advice, you're not serving the community well. It's my belief that our town attorney and the town board should seek immediate assistance from legal experts specializing in municipal land use laws, environmental issues, air and water quality, and landfills before what we love and what we have enjoyed is lost forever. Finally, I'm joining with many other concerned citizens in requesting that this board authorize the Seneca Falls zoning officer to immediately issue a stop work order on the dump's illegal rail siding. You have the support of many in this community and will continue to have our support and do the right thing and uphold the Seneca Falls zoning codes and the laws and enforce the Seneca Falls host agreement. However this ends, it becomes your legacies. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker is Carl Elliott, and he's going to speak on SMI and the trash trains. Mr. Elliott.
Thank you. I'm Carl Elliott. I live at 42 Cayuga Street in Seneca Falls. I'd like to read a portion of our Town of Seneca Falls Code 185-5, landfill permit requirements, and paragraph E-1, conditions. It says the town board may impose conditions on the construction and operation of any landfill as may be necessary to protect public health, safety, welfare, or the environment. Such conditions may address the environmental and economic impacts, including but not limited to odor, dust, noise, community character, which is important, litter, vermin, traffic, surface water, groundwater quality, air quality, property values, another important item, tourism and economic development, financial security for closure and post-closure monitoring and remediation, aesthetics, land use, and environmental monitoring. So that is one code that we have to our availability. Now a section from the Town of Seneca Falls Host Agreement, Appendix C-10. The Town of Seneca Falls reserves its right to revoke Seneca Meadows' authority to construct and operate its facility in the event Seneca Meadows violates the terms and conditions of this permit or applicable provisions of local law, as I spoke before, the local law. So it seems as though they're violating it. I have for you a copy of the National Solid Waste Management Association's Managing Solid Waste Facilities to Prevent Odor. It's a document by them. Seneca Meadows is a member of this organization. And by the state of things ignoring these guidelines, this tells and walks them through how to eliminate the odor, including some trash they take in may have to be modified and not taken in, because odor is their death sentence. So in closing, if you decide to allow the illegal, deceptive use of the dump's rail siding for trash use, you will make the second largest mistake in the history of the Finger Lakes region. The first being the approval of the landfill and too many subsequent expansions. As you saw by Mr. Black's letter recently, he's talking perhaps 4 more sidings, which would be needed for more additional trash trains if that's what they do. So you'll have a growth there of who knows how many more sidings. Thank you. Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Mr. Peter Pontius. Damage addiction does to communities. That's what he's going to speak.
Well, that's a bit of a lie, maybe. What I'm going to explain to you today is how we have in this room a perfect paradigm of addiction. I've worked in addiction for a long time. We have, you know, we all talk about how addiction is a terrible, terrible thing. And it is, don't get me wrong, it's a terrible thing. But what we have here is we have a board and maybe some town officials who are addicted to Seneca Meadows money. That means we have the addicts. Got them covered. We have Seneca Meadows. That's the dealer. They feed the addiction. And just like with any addiction, in the beginning it feels kind of good. Live fire, not very long though. After a while, you realize that it hurts. It causes a lot of damage to people around you. So we've got Seneca Meadows, the dealer. We got Finger Lakes Railway, which they call the mule. The mule is the one who brings the drugs to the supplier. Usually they do it by eating condoms, but they just have a railroad for it, so that's a lot easier, because I couldn't even digest a railroad train. So we got the addiction, we got the whole thing here. And you know what? And the people who suffer from it are right here.
Yeah!
You guys are suffering. You got nothing to do with it. Everybody else is getting their needs met. And you know, when Seneca Meadows sends out that flyer about all the great things they do,
It stinks.
you know where that model came from? The drug cartels. If you look at the drug cartels, they are known for doing wonderful things for a lot of the disadvantaged people in their countries. So was the mob for many, many years. So this pattern of doing good things for a few people and hurting a whole lot of people comes again from that drug cartel business. So next time you get one of those flyers, remember, Seneca Meadows is in very interesting company. Now, luckily, as Brad said, we have 7 years, you guys, to withdraw. Withdrawal stinks, it hurts, you gotta go through some pain. But you gotta get off of it, because we're tired of feeling the pain from your addiction.
Yes!
Now, we also have to remember that Cole and Nizzolio, and pardon my not being respectful enough to call them Mister, but I've dealt with them long enough to know that they don't deserve that respect. They were elected for what they can do, not what they can't do. And every time we go to them, they tell us what they can't do. Well, we can't do that, and we can't do that. Hey, that's not why you were elected. I went at least 10 times. I actually pleaded with Cole one time, his staff, to see me. And have you ever noticed that lately our politicians are beginning to think they're celebrities?
Exactly.
As opposed to public servants?
Yeah.
And we have our own selves to blame for it, because we invite them to all these fancy things.
3 minutes, Mr.
Okay, I
Pontius.
got you. Here's what needs to happen, okay? The name Nizzolio and Cole have to be permanently affixed to Seneca Meadows. We need to rename that trash train the Nizzolio Cole trash train. Because they haven't done a darn thing. We need to, you know that odor you smell out there? You know what that odor is going to be called, at least in my vocabulary from now on? The Nizzoli odor.
Yeah!
That's the Nizzoli odor, because he didn't do anything to stop it. Now, he's going to be gone. Sorry, somebody's going to... We need to be sure that that name, Seneca Meadows, is always going to be attached to Cole and Nizzolio, and whoever his person that comes up after him. I think it's important to know something right now. Cole, Nizzolio, we can be great friends and great supporters. We can be better enemies if you're going to screw with us. All right? And that's up to us. We need to follow Brad's plan. Make a plan. Start right now. Be sure they close in 2023. We will not be ignored anymore.
Our next petitioner is Mrs. Barbara Reese. She's going to speak on the SMI and the trash area. Mrs. Reese.
Supervisor Lazaro, thank you very much for the opportunity to speak tonight. When I spoke at last month's town board meeting, one of my requests was that our town board visit Seneca Meadows Landfill and the Renewable Resource Park to verify that what is being built at the site is what was permitted in the March 2007 site plan. Shortly after I made that request, facts were disclosed of a recent inspection of the Renewable Resource Park completed by John Camp, an engineer from CNS Companies. Camp found that the work being done at the site is materially different from what is supposed to be done under the site plan. The railroad siding that Finger Lakes Railway has spent $1.2 million on has been constructed on the south side of the railroad tracks, opposite of what was proposed in the site plan. Most notably, the inspection showed no evidence of the proposed 40-acre greenhouse. Something clearly is not right. Supervisor Lazaro has confirmed that the Seneca Falls Town Board sent a letter to Seneca Meadows Landfill asking for an explanation of these violations. and the February 25th, 2016 edition of the Finger Lakes Times reported that our code enforcement officer, Dean Delmoyer, visited the Renewable Resource Park. So with these actions, our town agrees that something appears misleading with the work that has been done at the site. According to our Seneca Falls Town Code, Section 300-105, Zoning Permits Part H, Revocation of Permits, if it shall appear at any time that the application or accompanying plan is in any material respect false or misleading, or that work being done on the premises differs materially from what is that called for in the application filed under existing laws or ordinances, the zoning officer shall immediately issue a stop work order and may And it continues, but I will continue as well. On Friday, February 26th, I hand-delivered a formal complaint letter to the Seneca Falls Town Board office requesting a stop work order at the Seneca Meadows Landfill Renewable Resource Park. So, please answer my question here tonight. Mr. Lazaro, has a stop work order been issued, or are there plans to issue one in the near future? And if not, why not?
No, a stop work order has not been issued, and these will answer your question in due time. This isn't a question and answer session, it's a petitioner session. We do take your comments seriously, and I will try to get you an answer at some point, okay, on your questions.
Thank you. I appreciate it. When?
Yeah, we'll wait. You got time?
Yeah, we'll wait.
We'll wait.
Our next petitioner is Mr. James Mitchell, and he's going to speak on the trash. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
Thank you very much for allowing me to speak. My name is, of course, you know, James Mitchell. I live in 1691 Route 336, Waterloo, New York. I've lived here all my life. I love the Finger Lakes in Seneca County. Now I'll turn it back. I'm talking to the Seneca Falls Town Board, and I'm glad you let me speak. The mountains of trash at Seneca Meadows are getting bigger every day, and the smell and the odors that come with it are disgusting.
Yes.
I asked the town board and the planning board to please work together with the community. We don't need any trash trains at all, but we do need clean air.
Yes.
It would be nice if we could work together and shut down the landfill if possible by 2023 or earlier. The people of Seneca Falls, Waterloo, deserve much more than this. Our family's future on your hands. I want to live and die in Seneca County, but I don't want to be buried in the trash.
Thank you, Mr. Mitchell.
You can do better than flat.
Our next petitioner is Mrs. Annette Lutz, and she's going to talk about greenhouses.
This is great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Good evening, my name is Annette Lutz. My husband and I live in Seneca Falls. Before I begin, I'd like to relay a story. Last week we received in the mail our pledge card for the Seneca Falls Police Department. As we do every year, we mailed the donation in. The very next day I heard this story. The dump presented our chief of police with a $5,000 check to buy the Seneca Falls Police Department, I believe, a trailer, with the stipulation that their propaganda be plastered on the back of it. I understand both the chief and our town board said thanks but no thanks, and returned the check. So kudos for both of you, all of you, for finally saying enough of the bribes. And a note to the chief, if you purchase the trailer with the money Bill and I donated, we ask for nothing in return because that's what giving from the heart is all about. Now, down to my business here. Bill and I own some commercial properties in Seneca Falls. I'm here tonight to seek approval for a site plan on one of these parcels. We plan on constructing a fruit stand on the corner lot that we own to include a small greenhouse so that we can operate year-round. We hope to employ about 5 or 10 people, and as soon as you approve our site plan, hopefully tonight, we will begin to build the tallest water slide park around. During the permit period, we do not expect to be contacted by any town representatives. If anyone stops by the site, we sure would be glad to take you to lunch to buy your silence. If anyone complains about what we're building, please by all means have the town engineer review our project. We know his report will clearly state that we are in the construction stage, and he really can't comment until the construction is over. Make sure your legal advisor guides you to take no action at all. If we create unrest and concerns with the community, please send us a nice letter asking us what we're doing. We'll take our sweet time responding to you, and when our response is, why, we're the Lutzes. We can do whatever we want. You have no power over us. We'll expect you to shrug your shoulders and have your legal counsel advise you to tell the citizens, we told you so, we can't invoke a stop work order on the Lutzes project. Then when our water park is near completion, we will invite the local dignitaries to be there first to ride our slide and help us cut our ribbon. I hope this scenario sounds completely and utterly ridiculous. It is the exact sequence of events that we are currently witnessing with the dumps, Trashmore Greenhouse turned Trash by Rail project. It's time to take a stand.
You have 3 minutes.
Stop the work order before they ruin our communities. They are smoke and mirrors, and this current board can be the ones to clear the air. 2 closing comments. You, our elected officials, do not spread false information throughout our communities like the one I heard yesterday. Our taxes will rise 130% if we stop the trash train and close the dump, per one of the town board members. This causes paranoia. Speak the truth or don't speak at all. And please, Mr. Morrell, we have known each other a long time, and with all due respect, are you looking out for our community? Thank you.
Mr. Henry.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Leland Henry, and I reside at 93 Virginia Street, Waterloo. I've been a resident since 1946. The relationship with Seneca Meadows reminds me of a mythological story of Pandora. Her beauty showered with gifts, and from the great god Zeus, a box, never to be opened, because it is filled with all the evil spirits of the world. Well, like Pandora, we've been showered with the gifts of money. And now that the landfill, like Pandora's box, has been opened, and the evil spirits of despoiled land, horrible odors, contaminated emissions, traffic congestion, and an imminent fading future for this area surround us and dominates our concerns. But like Pandora, there's one spirit still captured in the box. And as in the story of old, is the spirit Elpis, the spirit of hope. Hope that we will all come to our senses and see that we cannot let the landfill continue on its current course. Hope that we will realize landfill expansion is detrimental to the entire area and must be stopped and the landfill closed. Hope that we will all work constructively with the town board to fill the budget gap remaining with landfill closure. I think so. Let's open the box. Let's develop a plan for an end to Seneca Meadows and a brighter future for all. It's at the town board level that this process, this plan, has its best chance of success. The power of town law is supreme in deciding which industries we wish in our community, how we wish to live, and how we wish to define our future. Open the box. Let that spirit of hope fly free now. Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Mrs. Allison Stokes. Mrs. Stokes, welcome.
Thank you. My name is Allison Stokes, and I've been a resident of Seneca Falls since 2003. I'm glad for the opportunity to speak tonight just after my friend Leland Henry. I've been attending meetings, demonstrations, and fundraisers of the concerned citizens of Seneca County for the past year, and this is how I've come to know and admire Lee. He and the concerned citizens have been working since 2009 to educate area residents about how detrimental the landfill is to our environment and to our health. Lee's message tonight, a message of hope, is right on. Hope is what we need, as Lee has said, for an end to Seneca Meadows and a brighter future for us all. I know many Seneca Falls residents feel that opposition to Seneca Meadows is pointless. They are sure that the contract to import mountains of garbage for the next 20 or 30 years will be signed with New York City. It's going to happen, people say with resignation. We are powerless to make a difference. Just Thursday, Dave Shaw reported in the front page Finger Lakes Times article that 3 legislators, including our state senator Mike Nozzolio, issued a statement on the New York City deal. They said, quote, as long as the landfill doesn't violate its permit or exceed its tonnage limit, there's not much they can do, unquote. Not much they can do. Many people doubt that this is true. However, what Lee has pointed out bears repeating. It's at the town board level that this process has its best chance of success. It's our town law. Our elected officials can decide to enforce it. With determination, together, we can bring about change. Last month, Doug Zamalis, environmental attorney from Cooperstown, pointed out that Seneca Meadows is in violation of the site plan. Our Seneca Falls Town Board has written a letter of inquiry to Seneca Meadows. That isn't enough. It's time now for our leaders to take action. Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Dylan Berlicelli, and he's going to talk on the trash train.
Hi, my name is Dylan Berlicelli. I'm a local resident speaking out against the dump and the trash train. I'll focus this speech on shutting down the trash trains and next month about denying the 2017 permit. As a homeowner who lives near the chiropractic college and works at Bonadent, I can no longer be forced to cope with the dealings of the dump. I, like many, have politely stood by in protest, quietly as numerous people had pointed out the countless problems, lies, and deceptions dealt to the people in our region by Seneca Meadows. That time is over. Politely protesting has only gotten us ignored, downplayed, and a trash train ribbon-cutting ceremony. The smell is so offensive, it literally makes me sick. How our leaders let us get to this point is beyond me. Living between the chiropractic college and Xylem, I can smell the dump when I walk out my back door 3 to 4 days a week minimum. I can't wait until this summer when I open my windows and I can smell it inside my house. I have a right to breathe free, clean air, and that is being directly violated on a daily basis. We are being slowly poisoned every day and forced to cope with it because our elected leadership continues to let us down. Do not make us the next Flint, Michigan. Now, we want to bring it in by train, and they claim it is for the farmers. Yet another lie. I can't wait for my veggies and grains to be served with a rail side of New York City garbage. Millions of tons of it at that. I will not buy into the grain and veggie garbage plate that the Finger Lakes Railway and SMI is selling us. I sat here last month and watched Attorney Doug Zamalis give you a PowerPoint presentation citing all the violations to the rail siding permit. Amen. He gave you and everyone in the audience copies, and yet the train goes on. Seneca Meadows blatantly violates a zoning permit from 9 years ago, which isn't even valid in the first place. They show no respect for the town board, the law, and the people, and a stop work order should be issued immediately, no hesitations, no more questions asked. The highest peak in Seneca County has become the lowest point in our history. For the future of my kids, your kids, and our grandkids alike, as well as all of the future generations of Seneca County, I ask you to please stop the trains from coming into our town before the people start moving out, including myself. I cannot fathom the idea of our workplace and living space being the center of this state's garbage for many years to come. Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Valerie Sandless. Mrs. Sandless.
Good evening, and thank you again for the opportunity to speak to you. As I hope you recall, I addressed the health and environmental dangers of Seneca Meadows and its expansion via trash trains at our last town board meeting. Tonight, I'd like to address the site plan violation that is blatantly occurring at the Seneca Meadows Renewable Resource Park. Simply put, I'm asking all of you, in addition to our Seneca Falls zoning officer, Dean Zettelmeyer, to issue a stop work order at the Seneca Meadows Renewable Resource Park. Construction by the Finger Lakes Railway at the Seneca Meadows Renewable Resource Park is markedly different from the site plan dated March 2007 that was approved by the then town board. Consequently, as per Seneca Falls Town Code Section 300-105, zoning permits Part H, the work must be stopped immediately. The permit should also be revoked and the non-conforming structure should be removed. You, as I know many of you would like to, all of you, I'm hoping, to please work together with us. Please deal with this matter immediately. And again, thank you for your time. Thank you for your desire to help.
Thank you. Our next petitioner is James Sandless. He's going to speak on site violation of the trash train.
Good evening. My name is Jim Sandless. I live in 2 Greenbelt Circle here in Seneca Falls. I've been a resident for 31 years. I am here tonight to ask the town board to issue a stop work order regarding the work being done at Seneca Meadows Renewable Resource Park. As per the Seneca Falls Town Code 300-105, revocation of permits. If it shall appear at any time that the application or accompanying plan is in any material respect false or misleading, or that work being done on the premises differs materially from that called for in the application filed, under existing laws or ordinances, the zoning officer shall immediately issue a stop work order and may refer the matter to the Zoning Board of Appeals to consider revocation of the zoning permit at a public hearing to be conducted upon due notice to the permit holder. Clearly the work that has been performed at the resource park is materially different than the permit. Please follow the code and the law and issue a stop work order.
Thank you, Mr. Sanders. Our next petitioner is Mr. Steve Churchill. Mr. Churchill, we gotta stop meeting like this.
We need to stop meeting, period. Can I pull this table forward a little bit so everybody can see it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It doesn't count against my 3 minutes, does it? It counts for a lot more. I just wanted to share this with the board. I'm not going to sit up there. Set it down here. Apologize if a lot of folks can't see it. But first of all, I want to say that I'm Steve Churchill. I will, but I want to speak to this for a second. I live on Gravel Road in Seneca Falls. This is a photo, Google photo, obviously, map, of Seneca Meadows in the center here, center of this orange ring. And what it demonstrates is that within 3 miles of Seneca Meadows are all 6 of our schools. They're in the sweet spot or the hot spot, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, nasty.
Some particularly, Lafayette School sits probably a quarter mile from one of the cells at Seneca Meadows. So those young lungs are being bathed in this stench every day for 6 hours. And shame on us as parents for not being able to protect them. And if for no other reason to wind the dump operation down, we need to do it for our children and our grandchildren.
Exactly.
So how do we start to wind the dump operation down? Well, tonight I'd like to request that this council begin the process of drawing up and adopting 2 new laws. The first is a ban against any new landfills within the town of Seneca Falls. The second is a ban against any new landfill expansions within the town of Seneca Falls. You know, we complain about the odor, but in a way, I consider it to be smelling salts. And that stench from the mountains of garbage, thankfully, has served to awaken our community to a huge but not insurmountable problem. And that is how to plan and bring about the closure of the landfill. It is imperative that we start now, for it won't be accomplished overnight. Bans against new landfilling operations will send a powerful message to both the landfill and the citizens of Seneca Falls. That message is enough is enough. We hear that over and over. The landfill has been allowed to operate in our community since the 1950s, and it is time to plan for the end. It won't be easy, but it is doable if we begin today. You've all heard a lot. I mean, it's hard to come up here and speak when you hear the same things over and over, but you folks that, I want to thank all these folks for coming. And I hope to see you all next month. But we all know what the real issue is with the dump operation, and that is the money. The money flowing into our town coffers, our schools, they're paying the electric bill, and given to so many organizations. But let us remember that the dump is not the only benefactor in our community.
Yes. Amen.
But they are the only benefactor that rubs their donations into our faces at least 3 or 4 times a week. I can sit and see it.
3 minutes, Mr.
Thank you. They certainly are not a humble benefactor by any measure. But what so many fail to understand is that the tax breaks given to the dump are given at our expense. The dump pays no sales tax. I mean, people really got to focus on this, because this is where the money's going. The dump pays no sales tax, and they spend tens of millions of dollars to build that dump. You know, those liners, the construction equipment. Mr. Connolly can tell you how much one of those pieces of equipment costs. They pay no sales tax. So what do they do with that sales tax saving? They put that money in their pocket and giving it back to us. It's just like a pickpocket coming up, taking my wallet from behind me, taking some money out of it, and then stand in front of me and give me, hey, here's 10 bucks for you, and keeping the other 10. And I say, hey, that guy's a great guy, just gave me 10 bucks. It's my own money. So the money the dump hands out, in reality, is our money. Now that we are awake, we can break our addiction, we heard that word earlier, to the dirty money, and we can set a new course for our commitment. Please implement in the coming months these important bans, and let's get on with rebuilding our community and cleaning up our home. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Our next petitioner is Jolene Korzeniski. Is that how you pronounce your name?
Close. Korzeniski.
Korzeniski.
So I'm Jolene Korzeniski, and I'm a lifelong resident of Seneca Falls. I live here with my husband and our 3 children. My husband Kevin and I and 2 of our closest friends started It's a Wonderful Run 7 years ago. We started our race for a few reasons, but one of the biggest was to show others what a wonderful town we live in. We wanted to hopefully boost local economy, share the beautiful attractions that we have here in Seneca Falls and Seneca County, along with giving to local charities. And by the way, the money that we give is no strings attached. Into our race, and of course, like others, we have taken it, and I'm not ashamed of that. But I would be ashamed if I didn't get up here and speak and fight for what I believe in just because they wouldn't give us money next year. If they don't give us money, that is okay, because we are fighting for what we believe in, and that means a lot more. When runners come to the race and they ask, what does that smell? And I have to respond to them, it's garbage. Didn't you see the beautiful mountain of trash when you came into town? That to me is sad. I'm embarrassed that this is becoming what we are known for. I want us to be known for the Women's Right Hall of Fame, to be known for our wineries. I want us to be known for our beautiful lakes, and I want us to be known for the Wonderful Run weekend and It's a Wonderful Run. We have so many amazing things going on in our area that will be diminished if the trash train comes. Nobody will want to come here. You may not see it right away, or even in a few years, but it will happen. Is that the legacy that you want? Do you want to be the demise of Seneca Falls and Seneca County? Do you want to be the reason people leave? Do you want to be the reason people get sick? Do you want to be the reason the economy dies and we lose tourism? Because that will happen. I know you think we need this money from the trash train, but if it comes, there won't be a town to accept it. Eventually people will leave and no one will come to visit. I don't want the beautiful town that I grew up in to be known for its landfill. I don't want people to stop coming to Seneca Falls because of the horrific smell and toxins in the air. We decided to bring our children up here because we loved living here when we grew up. Bringing this trash train will at least double the amount of garbage, if not more, we put into the dump in one day, which will lead to more toxins in the air and eventually our water and lakes. I know the dump is telling us it's safe, but we are all smarter than that. We need to be strong and fight for our health in our community. I want my kids to be able to go outside and shoot hoops in fresh air. I want them to jump in the lake and swim in clean water. I don't want them to worry about the water they are drinking every day. I don't want them to have to hold their breath or play inside because the stench of the dump is so strong it makes them sick to their stomach to smell it. I'm asking you to save our children, to give them the same opportunities you and I had growing up, to be able to go outside as much as they want and clean, fresh air with no odor, to be proud of the town they grew up in and not embarrassed. You have a choice, and I am begging you to choose the future of Seneca Falls and the future of our children. Thank you.
Our next petitioner is Michelle LeBrun.
Good evening. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Please keep it coming.
All right, yes.
My name is Michelle LeBrun. My family and I live on Lower Lake Road in Seneca Falls, and I'm sick of the stink. When I say stink, I'm referring to several things. The stench of the landfill odors regularly emitting gagging smells throughout the area. The possibility of a trash train bringing an insurmountable amount of garbage through our town via the tracks to the dump. And finally, with more trash that ultimately means more expansion possibilities for the dump. Most of us here tonight want 2023 to be the expiration date for the dump. So how do we stop the stink? We stop the trash train. How do we stop the trash train? You, our town board, issue a stop work order on an illegal site schematic that was meant for a greenhouse to grow vegetables, not to be part of a scheme to bring trash by train. Less trash, no need to expand, closure in 2023. But there is convincing to do. That is why we are all here tonight. To the town board members, those who led before you put us in this unfortunate situation. They misjudged the dump, and they were used. They were silenced by greed and put money above the environmental health and welfare of this community. They lacked moral conviction, and sadly, it's too late for them to redeem themselves. But not you. It's not too late for you to turn things around for your community. You sit at the town table at the privilege of the people in this room, not the dump. So I ask you, which side are you on? Because with all due respect, it is not very clear. I suspect the job you have is not easy. You have concerns. What's the best thing I should do for my constituents? How will we survive if the dump threatens to turn off the cash faucet, or better yet, leave the community? That is precisely the problem when you rely on one source to feed your family. You are indebted, you are owned, you feel you can't go against the source for fear your family may starve. I know there are people in this room that have alternative solutions to keep Seneca Falls whole and healthy. So we no longer need the dump. This community has been bullied long enough. Let's work together to formulate a plan of life after the landfill.
Yes.
If you don't take this moment and seize it by stopping the trash train now, you might as well put for sale signs on everybody's front yards, abandon tourism, shut down wineries, drain the lakes, etc., etc., etc. Your legacy will mean absolutely nothing because no one will be left here to care. Trash will be trained here from all over, not just New York City, because the dump is in the trash business. The more trash, the better. It's too lucrative to stop. Once the trash artery is open, there will be no end in sight. So I hope you take seriously tonight what your constituents are asking of you. It's not the first time you've heard our voices of protest, and we are not going away. In fact, our charge is gaining momentum. Children are here tonight holding signs. They are concerned about their future. And there are 2 kids that have the guts to stand up and voice their concerns to you. And let me remind you that there are 2 school districts within 3 miles of either side of the dump. If that isn't reason enough to say no, what is? In closing, a vote yes for the trash train is a vote no for our children. Please don't dump on our kids and their future. And P.S., I will walk along the tracks with you, Brad.
comments.
Suspend the rules.
Our next petitioner is Margot Eller. She's going to talk about SMI.
Hello, my name is Margot Eller. I am 14 years old and I am in 8th grade at Seneca Falls Middle School. I have lived at Seneca Falls my whole life. When I smell the dump, it disappoints and frightens me. When I have to see the dump and its massiveness, it makes my stomach turn. When I think about the idea of a train bringing garbage from New York City to our community, I have a difficult time understanding why you would allow this to happen. Like I said, I am 14. I have my whole life ahead of me. Growing up here in Seneca Falls has been my storybook up until now. But if you town leaders don't do the right thing for me, for my friends, and for my family, I will graduate from Minders Academy and will never come back other than to visit. My friends and I will not settle here after college and raise a family like mine did. I will live someplace else where the air is cleaner and where leadership cares about the environment and the concerns of people who live there. I am not old enough to vote, so you speak for me. I am not old enough to vote, and so you make decisions on my behalf. Your actions not only affect you, but everyone here in this room, this community, and our future. It's pretty simple. Issue a stop work order for the site plan and stop the trash train. When I am not doing something to my fullest potential, say playing in a basketball or lacrosse game, when it's over, my mom asks me if I did my best, because what I do affects everyone on my team. So I ask each one of you on the town board that speaks for me, are you doing your best?
Our next petitioner is Durso.
First, thank you to the board for taking the time to listen to all of your constituents. My name is Darcy Herron. I live at 150 West Baird Street. I moved to Seneca Falls 11 years ago and am currently raising 5 children here. I'm going to keep this simple. I am here tonight not as a politician or a business owner, but as a mother. I've spent the last 14 years of my life protecting my children from harm's way, making sure they get the correct amount of fruits and vegetables, that they brush their teeth and get to bed on time, that they look both ways before crossing the street, and that they don't speak to strangers. I recycle, compost, and I don't microwave plastics. All of this done for the health and well-being of my children and their futures. The coming of the trash trains threatens that very well-being of my children, their friends, their community, and their futures. The trash trains will increase the number of bags of garbage delivered to Seneca Meadows by approximately 430,000 per day. Yes, per day. This will inevitably increase the amount of toxins in our environment, in the air our children breathe, in the water they swim in, and the land they play on. There is no fight greater than that of a mother's, and I vow to fight this fight to keep my children safe. I am asking you, the board, our elected officials, to fight this fight with us and issue a stop work order. Our children deserve a healthy future. We need to stop the trash trains now. And yes, I will participate in the walk along the tracks. All right.
Our next petitioner is Brody Herron. Hello, Brody.
Hi. My name is Brody Herron of 150 West Baird Street. I've lived here for 10 years. I love fishing. I started when I was 4 years old and I hope to keep doing it. But with the trash train, the lake will become polluted and it will kill the fish along with my passion. I'm afraid I won't be able to fish anymore. Did you know that Seneca County has the biggest population of white deer in the world? How embarrassing to us would it be if the trash train affected our world record? I want you to think about how many people came to our wonderful run last year. We had 6,000 people, 4,000 runners. I don't think that anyone wants to run in that nasty smell. I am afraid that I won't be able to enjoy my favorite weekend in Seneca Falls anymore. Some days you can smell the dump, but think about smelling it every day. Also, it will not only affect us, but it will affect many other towns, and it will discourage people from moving to our nice town. I want to tell people that Seneca Falls is a nice town, but when the trash train comes, it will be known as the trash town. I am asking you, the town board, to please stop the trash train, and yes, I will be participating in the walk along the tracks. Thank you.
Next petitioner is Michael Thomas.
Thank you very much. Some very inspirational speakers here tonight, and it's an honor to speak here at the board meeting. Unlike, I guess, maybe any of the speakers tonight, I don't live in Seneca Falls. I don't live in Seneca County, but I do live in the Finger Lakes. My name is Michael Warren Thomas, and I live in Rochester, New York. While some people might refer to me as an outsider, I live in the Finger Lakes region and am embarrassed to have the most disgusting key gateway to any fine wine region in the world at exit 41. In 1953, when the landfill began operation, there were only 6 wineries in the Finger Lakes. Now there are over 130. In 5 years, that number will probably double. In 2014, Wine Enthusiast magazine named New York State the Wine Region of the Year, largely due to the accolades given to Finger Lakes wineries. Several of the top winemakers in the world have invested in wineries in the region, specifically on Seneca Lake. The future's bright for Seneca Lake in particular, but there's a Texas company promising 8 jobs and a massive expansion of gas storage near Watkins Glen, and a Texas company touting the 160 jobs and a $3.3 billion New York City trash contract at the Seneca Meadows Landfill. Together, these companies threaten the potential of this region to add thousands of jobs and sustainable businesses that complement the history and beauty of this region. There will be people who just call us NIMBYs, but in fact, it is New York State that loses tremendous job growth and tax revenue if the economic driver of the region becomes gas storage and trash. Industrial zones for landfills and gas storage are not compatible with the tourism potential of the region, partly because of scale. Both of these industrial projects are already among the biggest in the Northeast and plan to double, quadruple, or more in size. The gas storage battle with Crestwood has been a nightmare for Seneca Meadow. The fight to protect Seneca Lake has brought the wineries and other businesses together from across all 11 lakes. It's united 31 municipalities representing 1.2 million people, which voted against gas storage expansion. 2 of the most influential environmental legal firms in the United States, Earth Justice and the Natural Resources Defense Council, have spent several years providing pro bono legal services worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. The struggle to deny a permit extension past 2017 or 2023 for Seneca Meadows will be an even bigger battle. I have a press release related to the challenge of measuring and mapping the stench plume produced by Seneca Meadows. This is not an indictment of the skill and dedication of the workers at Seneca Meadows. They're doing the best they can within the constraints of their budget. If they spend more on odor control, the company will make a smaller profit. That is not something companies volunteer to do very often. These are key tasks in the effort to create an inviting gateway for the millions of tourists, about 20 million that live and use exit 41 as their main gateway from the Northeast. I've looked for maps that show the stench plume from Seneca Meadows, assuming they must exist, but have found nothing. Therefore, we will create one, using the data provided by people throughout the region. In an effort to convince local municipalities to hold Seneca Meadows accountable for the scale of the odor issue, we will publish the data online, create a mobile app to facilitate the submission of data. The reports of people within the region will highlight the size and direction of this plume on a regular basis, eventually on a daily basis. The plume will be called the stinker zone, and rerouting suggestions will be made available depending on the wind direction, temperature, and intensity of the stench plume. We will launch a Kickstarter campaign to fund the website. We will launch a Kickstarter campaign to fund the website and mobile app, but would also welcome startup funding from the town of Seneca Falls, other municipalities, businesses, and residents. I have a press release that I'll hand out after the meeting. Thank you.
On the landfill resource park.
Hi, I'm not sure what I have to add after all these wonderful comments, but I'm on your list, so I'll go ahead and speak. My name is Susan Porter, and I have lived in Seneca Falls since 1995. Like many others who have addressed this board, my husband and I chose to move here and raise a family because of its small size, picturesque location, and community feel. We think these assets are being dwarfed by an ever-rising mountain of trash. Our family and countless other families have endured the landfill's skyward growth and smell because we believed it was to be short-lived. In 2007, when the landfill sought a permit for a 181-acre expansion, it was reported both in DEC documents and the press that the approved expansion would extend the landfill's life to 2023. Now it appears Seneca Meadows wants to keep operating beyond 2023. We learned this when the company announced last fall it was negotiating a 20-year contract with a 10-year renewal option to accept New York City's train-by trash. At the same time, the landfill's odor was becoming more frequent and pungent. That news and that sickening smell serve as a wake-up call. Once the train infrastructure is in place, my gut tells me that Seneca Meadows will seek a permit extension, daily tonnage increase, or try to expand its footprint. It and Finger Lakes Railway are making a large investment for a reason. I no longer see an end in sight, but a new beginning. This is not a knee-jerk, not in my backyard reaction, for I've lived with the landfill since moving here. But now Seneca Falls and the county's entire north end are at a tipping point with the landfill. I can't see how tourism and residential stability can coexist with an ever-growing mound of trash. This current rail spur project was not done in good faith. Seneca Meadows tried to build a spur across the street 3 years ago, but that project faltered after a judge ruled the town erred in rezoning the property because it did not do a proper environmental review. Instead of going back to square one with that project, Seneca Meadows this time goes across the street to property whose zoning allows a rail spur, part of a 2007 site plan to serve a greenhouse operation. This backdoor approach is disturbing, as is the town's reluctance to call out Seneca Meadows. If I had a permit to build an in-ground pool in my backyard, but instead built an above-ground pool in my front yard, I am certain the town would respond and revoke my permit. When it comes to the trash train, the rule is that it must comply with our town code. It is clear that Seneca Meadows and Finger Lakes Railway are taking advantage of a 9-year-old site plan whose purpose was to build a greenhouse and grow tomatoes. There are means to stop this violation because the town code authorizes the zoning officer to issue a stop work order. The question is whether the board has the will to make that happen. I hope it does.
Petitioner is Barbara Didsbury.
Good evening. I have to say I'm an accidental petitioner, but if those kids can get up and talk, I'd like to add my 2 cents. I was only supposed to read a letter from my sister-in-law, but she was told that Mr. Lazaro was going to read it for her.
If you want to read that letter, you can.
No, I'll just throw in my 3 minutes, and then you can go ahead and read it.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm from Waterloo, and I was asked recently if I live near the dump, and my reply was, if you live in Waterloo, you live near the dump. You cannot escape it. I left my house this morning, it stunk. I left my house this evening, it stunk. There's no escaping it. But I'm really happy that Mr. Churchill brought up the schools because I am a recently retired teacher. My heart is with the kids. I have taught in the schools that are in that sweet zone. I know for a fact that teachers cannot open their windows when there's a nice breeze in the spring, in the fall. I know for a fact that teachers cannot take their kids out onto the playgrounds because it stinks. I know for a fact that phys ed classes are being held inside instead of outside because of the stench. Lafayette is right near the tracks, and I know already that there's a lot of train whistles going by, and I had to stop instruction before because of the trains. I cannot imagine what's going to happen when the trash train comes through. It's going to be constant whistle blowing. Those tracks are not made for that. It's a dangerous, dangerous situation. It's critical that we stop it now, and I'm begging you to do that for our children, especially for the children that are here. One more thing, I am from Waterloo. My son, against my better judgment and against my wishes, recently purchased a house in Seneca Falls. That same son is going to be getting married in June. And as you all know, weddings are a lot of worry. It is a mother's job to worry about a lot of things for the wedding. I've been praying for good weather. I don't think that I have to pray that it doesn't stink that day, but that's on my list of things to pray for. Please don't let the dump stink that weekend.
Thank you. That's the end of the petitioners, except Cindy French asked me to read a letter for her, so I'm reading this. Cindy French is a resident of Waterloo, New York. And she writes, "The smell last week was very bad. It started Monday evening, stayed with us all day, Tuesday and then into Wednesday, February 24th. It was everywhere that I had errands, and it seemed that you could not get away from it. It was at the elementary school and preschool as I dropped off grandchildren. It was at the bank, in my car, at my home, and even inside my home. I reported it, however. The investigator was unable to detect any landfill-related odors at my house when he arrived. We have been affected so many times by these odors. At the VFW clam bake last fall, coming out of church services on Sunday mornings as we shop locally, as we take walks. We hosted a holiday party at our home and had guests from out of town and out of state, only to have the landfill odors descend upon the area and enter into our home as we opened the door to welcome our guests, who were taken aback by the disgusting smell. It is frustrating to live with these odors which affect our quality of life. After calling the Seneca Meadows Odor Complaint Hotline, it is frustrating to have investigators arrive only to issue a report later that no landfill odor was detected at the complaint site. Is our quality of life dependent on the overpowering smells from the landfill? Spring is coming and we all look forward to outdoor activities. Will we be able to open our windows, take a walk, ride bikes, play outside, grill, sit on the porch? Are these things we took for granted and now hope to reclaim? All of these outdoor activities depend on air quality. In order to have a brighter future in this area, it is requested that the board stand firm with the closing date of 2017 of the landfill and not consider any requests for extensions or expansions. Please bring back the quality of life that we all need and let us enjoy playing, shopping, and dining in our communities again. Thank you, Cynthia French."
If I may, as a member of the zoning board, may I make a brief statement?
You weren't on the agenda to make it, so I'll have to say no, okay? After tonight's petitioners, I feel compelled that I have to respond to my fellow board members here. Last week we sat and heard. Tonight I estimate probably around 150 to 200 people here. And we're getting a not so subtle message that people want to see the direction of Seneca Falls change. I believe we must listen to them very clearly and take action. Some of the action you asked us to take tonight is in the legal realm. I promise each and every one of you that we will discuss this. But generally, and I know a lot of people aren't going to like this, but these are in the rules of an executive session when legal action should be taken. We will discuss these issues that you brought up tonight. I promise you. We, as elected officials, have to listen to people. We have heard no one come up here and support any landfill expansion, anything but closure at the 2023 date. That's what we were led to believe years ago. That's what people want. I think we have to work toward that end. When I hear our assemblyman say there's nothing we can do, I get very upset. I think we need to bring some experts here to talk to people in a question and answer session. People have told me that this crowd is going to get unruly. I've not seen any unruliness. To that end, I am going to be contacting the National Surface Transportation Board and ask someone to come and attend a forum, and I hope they do attend. I hope I can get someone to attend and attend a forum where residents of this town can come and ask questions and receive answers. We're also going to contact the DEC and try to set up the same forum. Again, when I hear elected officials say there's nothing we can do who are in a legislative body, there is stuff that they can do in a legislative body. They can change laws. They can take a new direction. We can change laws. We can take a new direction. As a member of a legislative body in Seneca County, we can make things happen. When I constantly hear from people, as I said at a meeting on the White Deer a month ago, that I never received so many phone calls. I've never been in a meeting, at a public meeting, when I was at the school board, when I was a union leader, when I was at the county, except for last month on the White Deer, and tonight, that I've received so many people coming to a meeting and expressing one thought of action. One person is a philosophy. 20 is a movement. I think we have to go along with that movement. Thank you for all coming. I'm going to ask our fellow board members if they want to add to that. Anyone want to add anything?
We did talk about that the other day, about getting the DEC in and somebody from transportation and get some answers. And I think it's good for us to do it. It's a good start for you people too.
You should have stopped work.
Yes, stop work.
Do you want to address that?
It's our town laws. You address it. Stop it. Order. Stop work. Stop work. Order.
Okay.
Order.
Hey, Pat, is it legal?
Okay. As I said, we will be discussing these things in executive session because it has to do with legal, but we will be discussing them.
It's
and
been discussed.
I hope you have my confidence that we will do that.
And I add, we did get a hold of the railroad, and the railroad does have a letter back to us.
Sure, they were here last month too.
Yeah, but I mean, we have 29